most of us do, all you survivors of veterans of World War II, and the few who have survived World War II, understand what I'm saying to you. But the fact is that our atheist college professor president has spit on the memory of the men who are there through eternity by bypassing the cemetery. Now, you may say he didn't know anything about it, but the French are shocked. The French are shocked in many, many different ways. You may not know this, but the French military had a plane on 24-hour standby to whisk Obama over there if he wanted to, but he wouldn't do it. The French had suggested that Obama fly from London to Normandy on Friday morning for a stop before the NATO summit, and yet instead he's going directly to Strasbourg. French were ready to fete him at a dinner of the President of France at a chateau. Again, he said niet. Now, what do you think this is all about? Don't you understand what this is? Don't you understand what the symbolism is of Obama bypassing the graves at Normandy? He's trying to be president of the world. And this is just another example of this. He's trying to say that World War II is over. And although tens of thousands of our men shed their blood invading France to fight tyranny and despotism, it doesn't matter anymore because now this is a new world order. It's a foreign trip. It's a trip to honor Obama and his ascendancy to the presidency, not to honor America's place in the world. That's my opinion. What is yours? Andrew from OR in New York, go ahead, please.
Hey, Mike, you said he's going back in June, right?
We don't know.
Oh, June's the 65th anniversary of D-Day, isn't it?
So what's your point?
My point is, what's the big deal if he doesn't go now, if he's going to go then, when it really, would be more appropriate?
Well, for one, he's in Europe right now, and to bypass the memory of the war dead is kind of a slap in the face. You see, it doesn't really matter when D-Day is. These men have been dead for eternity. They're not dead for June 6th once a year. And it's a matter of respect.
Well, he is going.
The college professor, the atheist, has time to take off his shoes in a mosque, but doesn't have time to take off his hat in a cemetery? Well, thanks for the call. You know what? Put that into your pothead pipe and smoke it. He has time to take off his shoes in a mosque in Turkey, but he doesn't have time to take off his hat in a Christian cemetery. And make no mistake about it, 99.9% of the dead are Christians. You see an occasional Star of David? The Jewish population is very small in the country. There are Stars of David. I never saw a crescent in that cemetery. But to him, it's a Muslim nation, Christian nation, Jewish nation, all the same. Again, the big lie. Again, the big lie. Constant big lie, constant propaganda. Every day, drip, drip, drip. Obama now refusing to go to Normandy, saying he didn't want to offend the Germans. Apparently, he wasn't afraid of offending the men who shed their blood there in the fight against Hitler. Apparently, he wasn't afraid of offending the descendants of men who were lying there. Which country does Obama want to be president of? I think it's no country. The man is an egomaniac. He's a narcissist. No president in the history of this country, particularly during a crisis of this magnitude. What, he solved all of America's problems and traipses off to Europe? Well, I know he had to go to the G20 summit. And then what? He had to go give rock star speeches to crowds of adoring Marxist children all over Europe? That's what he had to do because the man can never get enough love. The man is starving for love. The man is starving for adulation. Starving for it because of, I told you, the defects in his psychology as a result of the abandonment by his father's and his mother's flightiness. I told you that yesterday. But you don't want to listen to me. You don't want to accept the wisdom of your elders. You understand this? 1-800-449-8255, phone number, michaelsavage.com, Indiana Spencer. Your opinion counts. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, U.S. Army veteran, and I wanted to let you know, Michael, that, the guys in the military support exactly what you're saying, and probably 95 and 98% of them voted for John McCain, whether he was the right man or not. He didn't.
Well, why did they show all of these adoring soldiers over there in Baghdad jumping on Obama the rock star?
Take a look at what those soldiers look like. The general majority of them didn't look like combat troops to me. Those aren't the guys. You might have a few that's supporting him, but generally speaking, I bet 98% of the people in the military totally are against what this guy's doing. He's tearing apart the foundation that this country was formed on, and if someone doesn't put a stop to it, I'd be very surprised, and I think you know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't know what you're talking about, but I hear you anyway. Thanks for the call. Now, Obama calls for a nuclear-free world the other day. A nuclear-free world? Hey, what a great idea if you're a college teacher in Chicago. I mean, if he appeared in a fez, I wouldn't be surprised. If next he appeared in a fez and then says America will never be at war with Islam. Well, that's true. America isn't at war with Islam, unfortunately. We're not even fighting the Islamo-fascists anymore. But many of them seem to be at war with us. Isn't that true? If we're not at war with Islam, who are we at war with in Afghanistan? Will anyone tell me? Are we at war with the Jews of Afghanistan? Christian fanatics of Afghanistan? The Kurdish fanatics of Afghanistan? No, it's the Muslim fanatics of Afghanistan who want to die for their mistaken beliefs, their false beliefs. You understand that? But I have made my point, and I don't think I need to beat this up. Let's take your calls on this topic and move on. Kansas City Mike, go ahead, please. You're on the Savage Nation.
Dr. Savage, at the risk of sounding like an idiot, I hate to parse words, but I don't really have an issue with Obama's comment about it not being a Christian nation. I totally know that it was founded on Christian principles, but that foundation is what's given us freedom for anybody to be any certain religion that they want. But
wait, hold on. But he didn't just say that. Notice what he said. You got to listen much more carefully, Mike. My job is to listen more carefully for you and to speak more precisely for the listener. He didn't say what you said. You have to listen to it carefully. So stay on the line, Mike, and let's listen to what the college professor said during his propaganda speech in Europe.
You know, I've said before that one of the great strengths of the United States is, although as I mentioned, we have a very large Christian population, we do not consider ourselves a Christian nation or a Jewish nation or a Muslim nation. We consider ourselves a nation of citizens.
Well, so did the People's Republic of China and the ex-USSR. Although there were many Christians in the Soviet Union, they didn't consider themselves a Christian nation. They considered themselves a people's nation. China considered itself, and still does, a people's republic. Now, notice he said not a Christian, not a Jewish, not a Muslim nation. How in the world can he equate the three when the country was founded by Christians? How can he say that, Mike?
Well, no, I agree with you on that viewpoint. And
all right, thank you for agreeing with me at the end of the day. Thank you very much. Houston, Texas. Aaron, welcome to the program. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Dr. Savage. It's an honor. I just wanted to say that while it is disrespectful that he bypassed Normandy, there's no excuse for that, regardless of what that earlier caller was saying. I don't think it's unnecessary that he's making a goodwill trip and making speeches because the economic crisis is global. We're all interlinked.
Well, let's pause there. That's what they have told us. But it's George Soros who is saying that more loudly than anyone. George Soros has come out from under his rocks all of a sudden, and he is now boasting that soon the U.S. dollar will be replaced by a world currency basket, a basket of world currencies. You're pretty aware that he put this stooge in power, aren't you?
I am, and that is psychosis, the replacing of the dollar with an international...
You're pretty aware of the fact that it was George Soros, who is the Rothschild of our time, who will bring ruin to the currency of this nation unless he is stopped. That man is running and manipulating the world's currencies. And make no mistake about it, if we ever get off the dollar standard for the world, this man will make billions, if not trillions of dollars. And that's why he put the stooge in power. It's all about money. And it's, again, George Soros. But you have to study the history of Rothschild to understand why, to this day, the French hate the name Rothschild. What he did to their currency during one of the Napoleonic eras, and I don't know which one. I am not that much of an expert on history. I never pretended to be. But it was during a period of one of the Napoleonic Wars that the Rothschild Bank lent money to the government of France to conduct the war and profited handsomely as a result. To this day, the French remember that. To this day, the French hoard gold because their currency became worthless. You understand that? And I'm going to describe a little bit more about what's going on right in front of your nose. This is a shadow play that's not even a shadow play anymore. Apparently, the American people are so dumb and so uneducated that they can get away with this right in front of your eyes. They've decided that if they act it out in front of your eyes, they'll get away with it faster than if they do it surreptitiously. And that's what they're doing. And Soros has now come out from under the rocks and caves that he lives in, and he is